Good money, baby. It's your girl Dime, and I'm back with another bag talk. Y'all already know how I do this bag talk, baby. So listen, I have a special guest in the studio with me today. Her name is Mrs. Carri Lauren Griffin, baby. Don't forget the Mrs. Don't get it twisted. But she's in the studio with me today. I told y'all I had an exclusive interview with her. She does have a self-published book. It's called Congratulations, You're an Adult, Now What? So we're going to get into that. I want to get into her background. Thank you so much, Carri, for joining me today in the studio. How are you?
So good. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for joining. So, look, I know you're from St. Louis, but what are you doing in St. Louis this weekend?
This weekend is Deluxe Magazine's Power 100.
Okay, shout out.
Shout out. It's the first day that it's on a Saturday, so I'm excited
That's
about
hard,
that.
yes.
It's on Sunday,
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're in town for that. Excited to see everybody tonight. I think Jamie said it was going to be 700 people, so I'm excited
Wow.
to see the whole city today.
So give a background on the Deluxe Power 100. What does that mean? What does it consist of?
So basically, since 2015, Deluxe Magazine's Power 100 has basically recognized 100 of the city's most influential African American.
100 of the city's most popping people.
Every year.
You popping if you on that list.
Yes.
Look, I ain't popping enough because I ain't on that list.
Next year, baby. Next year. But yeah, so it's just like, so this is the 6th or 7th year. So at this point, it's been 700 people that have been recognized. So,
and it's different people every year?
Every year.
Wow.
Every
So
year.
they just finding another. So Deluxe, y'all need to holler at me if y'all need another 100th person.
Absolutely.
Okay, baby, because we going to get into it. So listen, I did write down some questions. I loved your book, by the way.
Thank you so much.
I think this is really important, especially in our community, financial literacy. Everybody always complaining, we didn't have financial literacy, but y'all don't want to listen either. So y'all got to choose a side, Pooh, okay? Choose a side. So, Carri, you were born and raised in St. Louis.
Yes,
what
ma'am.
Part of St. Louis were you born and raised in?
Actually, around this area, I went to Cathedral School, which is, right around the corner.
Okay.
I grew up in Central West End.
Nice.
We moved to Eureka in 2000. But I pretty much have been in St. Louis ever since then. And we moved to Blue Springs for gymnastics back in 2019.
So you got a little bit of like kind of the hood and then like kind of the suburbs, basically.
A little bit of both.
I like that. The best of both worlds. That I never went wrong for nobody to know a little bit of both. So how did the economic environment look for you growing up?
It looked very good for me. We grew up very well, and I went to Catholic schools and public schools. So like you said, it's like I
the mix. Good I like that.
Went to Harrisville, right around the corner. That's where I had my degree from. So I definitely had a really great background growing up. But one of the things one of the things we're not taught just in general is, things about credit, things about debt to income ratio, things like that. And so with our son and his friends graduating, class of 2024, I was like, let me put together just a guide,
right?
It's not a big book, it's just a guide for them. So
and I don't want you to get too deep into it, but
okay.
when did you bring this out? The book?
This year, just this year, back in August. And I was like, everybody was heading to school, and I was like, they need to have something something easy to read.
It's definitely easy to read.
A really easy read. I didn't want a whole lot of words. That's all he kept saying. Not a whole lot of words on every page. And so I made.
Love it.
So
that's
I made
what's
sure
up.
that I made it so where the kids will just read it, take it with them, and just learn some things that they can take with them and hopefully
for life.
Yeah, hopefully be
dang on right.
Yeah.
So you went to Cardinal Ritter and you graduated from Eureka High School. My cousin, she went to Eureka. She said there were finance classes at Eureka.
If there were, I did not take them.
Okay.
But, and there certainly may have been. I have no idea.
Okay.
But what year did she graduate?
She graduated in 2004 or 3.
Okay, I graduated in 2000, so she may have been
because we were talking and she was like, dang, I wish I would have paid attention in school because we had finance. I'm like, damn, y'all had finance classes at Eureka? That's lit.
I remember that if they did, I don't remember, and I certainly didn't take it. So, but yeah, it was a good school. You know,
yeah, I know a few people.
1 year, but it was. I went to the old Carter, not the new Carter. I went to the
make it clear.
Thekla. Yeah, I'm the one on Thekla. But
that's what's up.
That was a fun time. And
so you went to Harris-Stowe for marketing. You got your BA in marketing.
Yes.
Okay, share some stuff from each year, like freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, senior year, relating to like finances, experiences, and money. Where you know what I'm saying, as a college student.
So I moved out the house when I was 18.
Okay.
Because since I didn't go away to college, I still wanted the college experience. And so
yes.
I moved into some dorms, actually, where I met my husband back in 2001. And so my freshman year, I moved out. So I was working full-time at my mom's law office.
Okay. Your mom's a lawyer. Yeah, I'm a paralegal.
Okay.
Yes.
She's a bankruptcy attorney. And so
nice.
I was working full-time at her law office. And I was going to school full-time. So it was a lot. I had a lot on my plate, but
you had a lot of motion as a teenager.
I did. And
people be sleeping.
Man, no, I was always driven, always, wanted to be kind of a go-getter.
Yeah.
So my freshman year, like I said, I was working, going to school full time. I was actually going to school at night and on the weekends. It was just a lot. It was a lot. But the only thing is like I did not graduate on time, so I ended up graduating high school in 3 years, but it took me 15 years to graduate college.
I already know how that is. We kind of talked about my college journey. It was just on and off. But we did it.
We did it and we finished.
Yes, we did.
And I finished. So I was to say we could go year by year, but it's gonna be a lot of years because it was 15 years.
Okay.
I kind of played around that last year that I was supposed to graduate in 2005, I believe.
That's when I was coming out of high school.
Was it
2005? Gateway High.
I was supposed to graduate, and then I was messing around, didn't pass my last math class, and then I was like, oh, I'll just go back. Then ended up getting married and then having the babies, and then I was just like, well, whatever, I was this close to getting my degree, and then in 2015, I was like,
what am I waiting? Right. What am I waiting? What was that movie when the lady was like, what are you waiting for? Huh? What are you waiting for? Is that scary movie? He was like, what am I waiting for?
I was this close. I'm like, what am I waiting for? And then I went back, but then I'm thinking I just had to take one class. And it ended up being, because it had been 10 years, they were like, oh, no, boo, you have I had to go back for a whole nother year.
Wow.
Because, the requirements had changed.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a challenge.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a challenge, but, I did it, met some great people. Shout
out to y'all. I love college. I encourage college because I don't like the loan situation, but, we can pre-plan how you're going to pay for college. Yeah. But I love college because you get to network with some of the most amazing people. Yes. You never know who you sit next to. It might be a next Mark Zuckerberg. Mm-hmm. It might be, you never know. I love that about college. And then also, your teachers can put you on game. I had plenty of teachers put me on internships. Yes. My business teacher, she actually put me on into Edward Jones internship. I wasn't even thinking about finance. I was doing my paralegal certificate, and one of my classes was business. And then she was like, you need to get into money. And then she just opened my world, So, yes, I love college. Also,
your teachers can, write you a recommendation.
Exactly. I didn't have that happen plenty of times. So, that's great. So, okay, did you have any internships in college?
I didn't. Just, I'd already had a full-time job at the law practice. And so I was actually able to do my internship there.
Nice.
That was a requirement.
And you got credit for it.
I was able to get credit.
That's dope. It's your mama job.
I was like, I don't have time. I was like, there's no way. I'm already working full time. I'm going to, night school, weekend school. I was like, I literally do not have time to go get another internship.
Yes.
And so they, I asked and they approved it. So
that was
where my internship was. It was already what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
So what was the journey like transitioning from a college student into adulthood and a career? I know you said you were already working a job, you were interning and doing work at your mom's law firm, but then when it came to your own adulthood and your own career, what was that like transitioning, and what kind of stuff, like skills and stuff, did you take on?
So I actually did not start, like, once I got married in 2005, I immediately got pregnant and then immediately again. And so the career and all that took a bit of a backseat.
Yes.
Yeah, a backseat for a while.
I respect mothers, like, for real.
And I know there's some women that do both.
Yeah.
But at the time, both of us were just like, okay, well, you do this right now. He was going to do this.
Yes.
So
that's nice.
But then in 2000, I would say 7, I was like, man, I really wanted to start getting back out there and starting to do something. I didn't know what.
Yeah.
And we were in, I think, New York. We had gone on like a road trip, and then on the way back, I was like, we should do like events. And so we started this power couple.
I saw that in your book. I saw that.
We started a power couple, and we just started doing events, and we rented like this charter bus and like wrapped our face. It was actually kind of like ridiculous thinking back on it, but we wrapped a charter bus for New Year. But like
that was hot though.
It was hot. It was fun. I can't say I would do that now, but it was that was kind of the start of it. So we started doing events, and that's kind of how I would say, got, I don't want to say known in the community, but that's kind of how we're just going out, doing all these different events, going to different parties and things like that.
Like brand awareness.
Right. And then I got pregnant again, so that stopped. And then I just started a home daycare, and that is actually my jump into like professional career, like a professional career as an
right adult. And as a business owner. Correct. So you were making big moves.
It was just like, I woke up one day and I was like, I just do not want to just sit at home anymore and just only be with the kids. Like, I was like, I have to do something.
Yes.
Like, what am I going to do and still be there for them? And I just started, I didn't even tell Keith, I just started advertising on Craigslist, and I was like, oh, by the way, someone's coming to do a tour today. He was like, a tour for what? And I was like, oh, I opened up a daycare. He was like, you gotta say no. Like, he was like, I don't think you should do that. And I was like, I'm just going to do it. And so I only had one kid enroll for like 6 months. I only had one kid, and I was only making $115 a week, open from 7 to 6.
Slow motion better than no motion.
And I was actually thinking, I was like, you know what, this isn't working. I was really thinking about closing it, just not doing it anymore. Because I was like, this is a lot of time for just $100 a week.
Yeah.
And then I got another kid, and then another kid, and then another kid, and then I got licensed. And then he was like, maybe you should think about a building. And I was like, no, I'm comfortable at home, and then he's like, no, he's like, this is really like growing, and it was like, because I didn't have a like wait list, and like everybody was trying to
get in, right?
And then we ended up getting a building, and then
nice.
it just expanded, and then we sold it in 2000.
What was the name of it?
It started as Care Bears Kids. That was the home daycare, and then we opened up a Montessori preschool, and that was called St. Louis Montessori.
St. Louis Montessori. And you sold that one?
In 2021.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was that process like? How did you find a buyer to buy the daycare or the school?
Yeah,
at that point, it was like a mini school,
yes,
right?
Yeah. So when we put it up for sale, there were 60 kids enrolled.
Wow.
60 kids. We had 12 staff, and then there was over 100 people on the waiting list. So, I mean, it was a great, very successful business, but it was just starting to be a little bit too much for me, especially when we moved.
Yeah.
We had a great, solid staff, but just being in Kansas City trying to run something like that just really was starting to be a little bit too much for me. So I looked online, and I found a broker.
Nice.
And yeah, her name is Danielle. She was amazing.
That's my name. That's my real name, Danielle.
Is it? Okay.
We are amazing.
I love Danielle. Danielle's are my favorite. That's what's yeah, she found a buyer, and then the crazy thing is, like, we put it up for sale, and then the pandemic hit, and so I was like, oh my gosh, like literally, like when it went on the market, everything was shut down.
Dang.
And ended up, And then we ended up losing like a lot of kids, and so it's like when the numbers that we put it for sale now, it's like totally.
Do it make
different.
sense? Yeah.
And so we kind of had to, build it back up. So they ended up calling saying that they had a buyer. So that process actually took about a year from the point that he had interest, made the offer. Like it did not close, I would say, for another like 10 months. So it was a very long process, but it worked out.
That's what's up.
And yeah. So now we just do the home health. So it's called Deluxe Home Health. Kind of going with all the deluxe.
So how is it being a business partner with your husband? Like, what is it like to be a power couple?
Should we bring him in and we can
if you want to, if you like.
It has its challenges, like.
Because y'all both busy and then the kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It definitely has its challenges. I would say that we have worked through those. For the most part, it was much more difficult at the beginning, but now it's just like, okay, like he knows what upsets me. I know what upsets him. Like we now know our specific lanes.
Yes.
He knows what he's good at. I know what I'm good at. We try to stay in those lanes.
Yeah.
And very much try not to bring it home. But sometimes it happens.
Yeah.
It's not hard. I mean, it can be hard, but we're making it work.
Because y'all in business together, y'all in a marriage together, y'all in a household together, y'all have kids together. So everything is together. Yeah.
And it's all at home. Like we work at home. We're literally together 24/7. And like I said, there are some challenges, but we're used to it at this point. And let's bring him in and see what he has to say about it. Come in. We're talking about
marriages and power couples and businesses together. And we just wanted to bring you in and ask you a question about what is it like being a business partner with your wife, and what's it like being a power couple?
Wow, that's a deep question there.
I'm so excited about your ankle.
I don't know what I was doing, hooping or something yesterday.
I'm going to have to go back and look
Can you grab this? Yeah, so if you could just give us a little, from a man's point of view, what's it like being a business partner with your wife, and what's it like being a power couple? Because that's a power couple, really. Like, y'all both together, doing business together, you're married together, you have kids together, you live together, you ride together, you die together. No, just what?
22 years at this point. Yeah,
22 years? See, that's what I'm saying. So what's it like being a business partner with your wife?
It's amazing. I mean, it's the best opportunity in the world,
Yeah.
Because the trust is already there. It's nothing that has to be built up. It's just kind of learning when to turn it on and when to turn it off.
Yeah, I think that's a big one.
But she's amazing. She has these books. It's about her, not me.
No. I wanted you to come in because when she asked the question, I was okay. Well, you know what? Let's hear what you have to say about it. But
how do you guys collectively come up with ideas and turn them into businesses? Like, what does that look like?
You just turn over in the middle of the night and be like, hey, let's do this.
Yeah.
And we just figure it out after that.
Yeah.
She's more of the organizer and keeping things lined up. I'm more of the here's an idea.
Executing.
No, I don't know about my execution. Between Carri and Jamie with the execution, that's what
sure.
That's what keeps everything going.
Okay.
Especially my wife. If I didn't have her, I wouldn't be doing
definitely shout
stuff.
out to Jamie for.
And then definitely Jamie.
Yes, for sure.
Got Power 100 going. She's texting me about it right now.
And she keep y'all together too and holding y'all accountable.
Definitely him. And I would say when you were asking about how what it's like Power 100, I will say nothing about that because, Jamie, she definitely keeps him together with that. And I'm like, I don't want to, step into her lane, step into his lane, so again, we definitely try to make sure that we respect each other's boundaries. And,
I like that.
Yes.
That's important. So how many businesses have you previously had in the past and how many do you have now?
We had a school.
So let's start from the beginning. No. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. The sports agent thing.
So sports agent.
Wait a minute, I didn't know about that.
Well, that was when we first got together, but
So that was before marriage, or
right?
Okay.
So during marriage, I would definitely say the daycare. So Care Bears Kids, then the magazine Real Estate.
That's good.
Then the magazine then turned into Power 100, Power Couple stuff. We had a cleaning company. I mean, just
y'all some Jamaicans.
Yes. We had Scrubby Bubbles.
Do y'all involve the kids in businesses as well?
Yeah, so they created. So our girls created they're gymnasts, and they created this thing called grippies for their hands because they cut.
Oh, that's hard.
And our son's a DJ, so I mean they have kind of their own thing. You know, obviously we help them. So it's like a yes and no, but it's like they.
And now that everybody's so busy with their sports, so like right now that is, but they see us, and you know they
model you guys.
Yes, for sure. Like
that grippies is a great idea. Like that's for real. That can go places. Yeah. I feel like
mygrippies.com.
Yeah.
mygrippies.com.
Yes.
Y'all go to mygrippies.com.
That is still up and going.
Yes, I like that.
A lot of businesses.
So, what does financial literacy look like in your household?
Ooh, that's a good question.
To the kids, or like our execution, or like what do you mean?
If you were to explain like how you guys so okay, I guess the education part, of course, you're teaching it to your kids. But if someone was on the outside looking in and trying to see how you moving, how would you be able to explain like what is financial literacy in your household, how y'all move? Like
yesterday specifically, he sent me a cash app for his paying me back for his haircut.
Oh, true.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, you got your check? And he was like, yes. And he was like, you know, I was like, was it all that you were expecting? He was like, yes. And I was like, well, remember, you know, put some money aside. And, you know, so, you know, just yesterday I was just like, don't forget to not spend all your money. You need to put some of it aside. So, I mean, again, we don't pile things on them.
Yeah.
But
you make it fun.
We try to give them little tidbits, and you know, make sure you save your money. Don't spend it all in one place. Don't lend money to friends.
Right.
What else do we?
I don't know. I know his last check was $30, and you know, I was like, "Well, what happened to your check before that?" Well, I spent it. I was like, "Well, you can't bank on that next thing." Yeah. You know what I mean? You always got to have something for, you know, a rainy day.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's good. I mean, that's how financial literacy look in your household. It ain't perfect, but if it's working and you're able to cover your basics and showing the kids the importance of that, then
it's real life situations, though. You know what I mean? It's nothing that I don't think for me, I can't grasp anything without experiencing it. You know, that's how I learn my lessons. You know, I think that's the in my opinion, the best way.
Exactly.
If I just give you. Like, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this without a why, then to me it's not effective. So so if you throw it out there and you're like, well, yeah, you didn't know your check was going to be $30. It was just $30. And you should have been prepared. You should have had something waiting for that. So now you know, get up and go make some money. You know what I mean? Like,
so when their challenges arise financially, you're able to explain, like, and kind of guide them.
Yes.
Do you all, like, when you guys face challenges, just, you know, as adults, are you able to explain, like, why this is happening, how we're going to overcome this? Do you guys ever do stuff like that?
One thing we're doing right now, so we're somewhat remodeling our house, changing our house up. And they're like, well, what's the purpose of this? The purpose of this is we're building additional equity. So now
I like that.
I mean, our house was built in 2015. So it's not an older house, but at the same time, it was time for some changes, take over moving some walls. So we want to know what's the purpose. Well, the purpose is, for one, I make the house look a little bit more newer. The second thing is the equity that you have. Well, hey, Dad, what's equity? Equity is something that's there but not there, but that you can use for leverage to do other things. So you can take the equity from that house and then use that equity and apply it to something else.
Okay. So that's financial literacy in your household.
Those types of tidbits. And
I like
them,
that.
Like with the cars, like, oh yeah, you got this car, Dad, you got this car, Mom. But like, hey, that's a depreciating asset. Cars aren't important. You know what I mean? That you don't make any money off cars. Whether it's with Turo or with Uber, it's really, you can't make a profit off of a depreciating asset. Right. So what do you do with that depreciating asset? You take that depreciating asset and you put it in the S corp, and then you use that as an asset, because now that debt can be written off with your taxes. So just teaching
as a
them
business, right?
Just teaching them those types of things.
So at what age do you feel like you'll have the conversation where you break down finances and relationships, like
18.
marriage and financial principles.
And that is why, I wrote that book. Once I started seeing everybody graduate, I was like, okay, this is going to be our son next year, and the following year, and so I was like, at least when they turn 18, I would like to make sure that they understand, now you're an adult. It's like, we want to help you, but at this point,
you're going to make your own decision.
Yes, yeah. Start showing you that this is what you should do, this is what you shouldn't do, with your money. But, at this point, this is on you.
Yeah.
We're not going to just toss them out. But
right.
At 18, I definitely would like to start making sure that they're understanding real life things.
Yeah.
I think you did a good job with that.
I think so. Yeah.
That's awesome. So that's what inspired the book, and I do see you did put for the kids in the beginning. So I love how you created this. It's sort of like a syllabus where your kids can always go back and read what you taught them, because they might not always remember. Right. Kids not always thinking or listening. You don't think they're listening, but when stuff hit the fan, they remember what you said.
Yes, exactly.
For real, they do. They be like, my mama told me that. My daddy told me that. Right. Okay, so what I love about this book, it's easy to read. The font is perfect. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes when you read a book, you be like, what? And then you just get discouraged. I'll read that later. But I think the font is a good size. It's short, sweet, and simple. The colors are popping.
That's my first time seeing it.
The colors are popping. She gives you an option to write down a monthly budget, since people like to fight me about how I'm a budget, how I'm going to do this. I can't save. So this book is awesome. If you guys want to get it, grab it from Amazon. Congratulations, you're an adult. Now what? I know she wrote it for college students and young adults and her kids, but overgrown adults can learn from this too if you're starting from the basics. So it's never too late to learn.
Never too late.
And I like how it's like my own personal journal, because it's super slim and small. Slip it right into my bag. I can always go to it. My note space, my goals. Sometimes it just helps when you actually writing down your goals. It's power in the pen, they say. And speaking of that, I do want you to sign my book.
Okay.
Period. Sign my book. So I really appreciate this, because just being in the financial literacy space, there are a lot of people that you wouldn't even know that's actually like doing the things, practicing what they're preaching. It's a lot of people that's writing books nowadays. So I think that's dope. And
this is my third book. The first one, what was the first one?
I know the school one.
Yes, my first one was a guide to opening up a daycare.
So people can still buy that book?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And then the second one was about gymnastics. So
nice.
This is my third one again.
Are you going to write any more books?
I don't know. I know this year I kept saying I wanted to write another book, but I didn't know what I wanted to write it about.
Yeah.
And then that popped in my head. I was like, I really want something.
You should do something like empowerment for like young girls or women. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you just exude femininity, and you know, I love that. I love your energy.
Definitely, ponder.
Yeah.
On that.
So what's next? Anything coming up next y'all want to share as far as business, as far as
2024? I know right now I know my specific focus for the next, 6 months, year is really to just completely launch them. And that is what my focus is.
Yes.
We're, still expanding the home health, but just really I want to just focus solely on launching our kids.
Yes.
To be the best that they can be, and successful adults.
They gonna be that, period. They have two amazing parents. Real talk. Like, I feel like it's a blessing for kids to have both parents that's setting a strong example, work ethic. Like, that's always important for kids. Yeah. We underrate that sometimes because the material things are just always overbearing. Right. The core values and, responsibility and leadership and stuff like that. And I already started teaching my son that at 7 years old. So he's been an investor since he was 3.
I love it. What is he invested in?
He's invested in, I got him in the S&P 500 index fund.
Wow.
So he has Tesla. He always, since he was little, he could just name cars, you know, and I'm like, you own that company. You know what I'm saying? He don't even understand it right now, but exactly. So he's been an investor. He's probably going to be more wealthier than me because he started before me.
Yes,
so that's important to me. That's what my financial household looked like. Just with his young age, just showing him just different stuff and talking to him.
I love your content. I love
Thank you so much. Oh, we did speak off the record about Bag Talk, but can you tell the people, what do you love about Bag Talk?
I love your content, and I love how real it is. So every time I scroll, it's just eye-catching. How you do the fonts and the different, very eye-catching.
Thank you.
What I was saying at the very beginning, you know, you were saying that, you know, certain posts, your funnier posts get more likes, and I was like, people might not like it, but they see it, so keep posting it.
Thank you.
I love it. I share it when I can.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I always see you comment. We always in the comments just rooting each other on. So I feel like that's important. And you know what? I don't even care, Carrie, if nobody responds, if don't nobody show me love. I'm doing this for me, baby. Because when y'all start seeing me shining, I'm gonna be like, I've been doing this. You can't try to throw it up in my face now. I've been doing this. I've been trying to get y'all hip. I've been trying to take y'all on this journey with me. But if you don't want to go, then it's all up on you, baby. You gonna get left.
I'm tagging folks in this right now. Come on in and watch this.
Yes, Mr. Keith Griffin. Thank you so much. So how can people get in contact with you, Carrie? For booking, for if they want the book, or if they just want to follow, because they're following your journey as a mom who have gymnast kids. Like, your kids are training to be professional athletes.
Yes.
And that's tight. Like, oh my God, I love it.
Thank you. My handle on Instagram, it's Carrie, it's Lauren.Elizabeth, but then there's all these underscores, so I'm not 100% sure how many underscores are before the Lauren, but it's Lauren.Elizabeth, and then just Carrie Lauren Griffin on
Facebook. I'm not really on Instagram, but I am kind of on Instagram, but I'm mainly on Facebook and YouTube. I just started my YouTube channel, the Tech City Bag Talk. So
subscribe.
Thank you so much. Anything else? Thank you to all my listeners and watchers. A lot of people have been coming in and going. I know a lot of people probably watch it after. Most people watch it after because they don't want to miss something I said. I'm always giving gems. Every time I talk, I'm always dropping a bag. And I'm funny, so people don't be wanting to miss nothing. You hear me like, wait a minute, what she say? Let me go back. So this has been great, and I wish you all the most success in the future. We definitely need to collab on something.
Absolutely.
In the future, we need to do something. So now, Keith, you know who I am. When she start keep saying dime this, dime that, because we're gonna be working together. I feel like we gonna be doing something in the future. So thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you for bringing her. I know you gotta go do makeup and hair or something. You said What time does the event start?
5 p.m. At,
5 p.m.
Hyatt Regency St. Louis.
The Hyatt Regency St. Louis.
St. Louis Arch. Yeah, St. Louis Arch.
It's the Deluxe Power 100, right?
Correct.
Nice. So y'all can see the Griffins there. Y'all should do a reality show or something like that. He like, nah, that's too much in my business. Now I don't do all that. But I love you guys' energy, the authenticity, and the positivity. I love it so much. And thank you guys for joining me. Y'all already know. I hope y'all get out here and get some of this good money, baby.